What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Real Picks. This is going to be my main card predictions and breakdown for UFC 303. And I don't know, this could be pretty quick or could go on longer. So just stay tuned. Let's just start from the bottom. We got Ian Machado Gary versus Michael Page. Man, Michael Venom Page. This one is going to be very interesting. We saw Michael Page style on Kevin Holland in his UFC debut. I actually had Holland picked. I thought he was going to be able to pull it out. But he really just kind of got worked over all 3 rounds. Michael Page is very unpredictable, very slick striking. And a lot of people were judging his Bellator career, fighting people that they considered cans, and not really fighting up to the level of some of these UFC guys. But Michael Venom Page is the type of guy that he's gonna fight to his competition, and definitely being on the main stage adds to his mystique and his skill. I think he's the type of guy that just shows out on the main stage. The bigger the stage gets, and the more people watching, he's gonna be a better fighter. He's gonna show out. Just like they say, the champion always gets a little bit better just being the champion, just getting that champion swag. I think he's got like his UFC swag going, and it just made him a better fighter than he was in Bellator, fighting people that weren't of the same caliber. But with Ian Machado Gary, man, he's just an all-around talent. He's good everywhere. He's we haven't seen him really tested too much on the ground, but he's training at Chuda Box now, and I'm pretty sure that if it were to go there, that he'd probably have the advantage over Michael Page. In terms of, picking, I gotta go Ian Gary by decision. I just don't see Michael Page being able to style on him over all 3 rounds like he did Kevin Holland. I think Gary has a much better fight IQ. I think he's gonna be able to, stick and move like he usually does. I think, Michael Page does have a chance to knock him out. I've been seeing a lot of people choose Michael Venom Page by knockout. I just think Ian Gary's able to avoid that shot, and I think he uses his grappling. I don't think he's gonna be able to, just strike with Venom Page over all 3. I think he's gonna use his grappling. I think he's gonna be able to show how much better his all-around game is than Michael Venom Page's. He's going to, show that fight IQ. He's going to be able to show that all-around game better than Michael Page is going to be able to show his striking and his range. They're pretty much the same height. Let me see. Yeah, these guys are the same height. Michael Venom Page does have a 5-inch reach advantage. This one's pretty hard to pick, but I have to go Ian Gary by decision. All right, next up, we have Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze. Oh, actually, we have a fight that's on the main card. It's Mayra Bueno Silva versus Meishi Chiasson. I don't know why I said it like that. This fight, man, people keep talking about it shouldn't have been on the main card, and obviously it shouldn't be on the main card. But you know what? They have to, I don't know who they're answering to. They have to put a women's fight on the main card, and it just is what it is. It's better to just, be happy that we get a fight like Talbot versus Gomori on the prelims, or like Joe Pyfer versus Barrio for free on the prelims, It's what it is. What it is. We got this fight on the main card. As far as picking, I'm not the biggest X's and O's guys, and especially when it comes to women's MMA, I'm definitely not the most knowledgeable. I tend to always go with the favorite, or whoever's a little bit bigger and able to impose their will. Whoever's bigger and stronger in there. We got 5'11" Meishi Chiasson versus Mayra Bueno Silva, coming off a loss to Raquel Pennington. Come on. She is the favorite, but I'm gonna make this one quick. We're gonna go with Macy Chiasson by decision. I think she had a decent showing in her last fight. She got the submission win over Penny Kianzad. She looked decent. You know, I'm not too much invested in this fight. We're gonna go Macy Chiasson. I think she's gonna get the decision. All right, next fight. Back to the groove. We've got Anthony Smith versus Roman Dolidze. Man, I'm gonna make this one quick too, man. I think Anthony Smith, on short notice, is gonna be able to handle Dolidze. We saw a gassed Dolidze lose his last fight to Imavov. Oof. And before that, lost to Vittori. It's been a minute since he's got a W. Who knows, though? Who knows how good he's going to look at 205. He may be a little bit revitalized. I just see Anthony Smith being able to, you know, he's the vet. He has a higher fight IQ. I think he's fought a ton of guys that are just like Roman Dolidze. And I just see Roman Dolidze in his last couple of fights, you know, kind of take a slide from that KO over Jack Hermanson that we saw in his last win. He just hasn't looked like that same guy over his last two fights. That dominant Dolidze that we thought was on the come up. And I think Anthony Smith has his swagger back right now. Even he said it, you know, his last win is, you know, kind of giving him some extra confidence going into his next couple fights. I think he's got that, you know, that veteran swag, and he's got his IQ going. I don't know, man. I just see Anthony Smith being able to avoid the big shots from Dolidze, and which is really his only threat when it comes to this fight. He's not bigger, you know. Anthony Smith is bigger. Dolidze is not going to be able to overpower him like he usually does people in at middleweight. I just see Anthony Smith being able to grind this one out, just be smarter out there, and we're going to take Anthony Smith by decision. If he gets knocked out, you can come back to this video and be like, what were you talking about? I just see it going to decision for Anthony Smith right now. If I have any updates, I'll probably just upload a community note. Community post. Alright, next on the card, we have Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. This one's tough, man, because a lot of people thought Diego Lopez was going to get fraud checked at the UFC 300, and he came in and got the fastest knockout on the card. This guy is on the rise, man. Just love his game. He's got the jiu-jitsu. He's got the striking power. He can, you know, put you out with one hit. You know, it's just, this one's really hard to choose because Brian Ortega, if you just listen to him in interviews during fight week, he's nowhere delusional about, you know, his status in the UFC, about his game, about his career. He seems very at peace with, you know, the danger of this fight, but he said he had to take it anyways because he wanted to show his kids that, you know, you got to do things that you're afraid to do. Sometimes you got to do things that, you know, that pose a threat to you that you're not always 100% sure about. Like, that's very honorable to me. I think it's a good place mentally for Ortega to come in, realize that he's fighting a prospect that's being pushed and someone that poses a big danger to him, but he's still confident that he can get the dub. And people are saying online that Brian's gonna get knocked out in the first. When has Brian ever been finished that quickly? You know, this guy is a zombie, man. We've seen this guy take a ton of damage and, you know, still last to the you know, to the final decision. I just don't see Brian Ortega's tough, man. I just don't see him getting finished. But I do think Diego Lopez wins more of these exchanges. This is tough. I gotta go Diego Lopez by decision. I think he's able to, you know, withstand a lot of those exchanges that would, you know, that Lopez would finish a lot of other featherweights with. I think that Brian Ortega is gonna have his moments too, but I think Diego Lopez is going to have more moments. He might hurt Ortega a couple times, you know. this is going to be a tougher one than I think people are giving or taking credit for. But we still have to go Diego Lopez by decision. And to the main event, man. My favorite fight. I really wish this fight wasn't on short notice. I love both these guys, but I'm a big Yuri Prochazka guy. You know, his mind, his unbreakable mind, his heart. He's a very unique guy in the league. You gotta love everything that comes out of this guy's mouth. He's just very different, and his fighting style is an embodiment of who this guy is mentally. He's just, you know, free. He's all over the place. He's free flowing. He's dangerous. He's powerful. Same with Alex Pereira. Pereira's come in and, you know, taken the UFC by storm and just become this fan favorite guy that nobody would have expected like 2 years ago. But look where we are now. We got the second fight. And to me, the first fight is not an indictment of how the second fight's going to go, because I believe the first fight was, you know, called off early stoppage. That's just my opinion. You know, people fight over this all the time. People say that Yuri was out, he was going to get finished. The fight was stopped early. As soon as the fight ended, he got right back up. He was ready. He was conscious. He was awake, and he still had his wits about him. And you know, all power to Alex getting the finish. Air quotes finish, but I always knew these guys would see each other again, and this time I just hope that Mark Goddard's not the referee and we can get somebody that, you know, lets this fight play out, because Yuri's the type of guy who can take damage. He's been flash KO'd before. He's been flash KO'd and came back to win. Like, that sequence that finished him in the last fight, those are the type of things that he survives on a regular basis and comes back to win those fights. And he was doing pretty well in the fight before that even happened, I think. And if you listen to a lot of the media day stuff this week, you know, Alex Pereira is talking about a trilogy, talking about how you know, it's a big risk taking this fight on short notice for the belt. You know, he's coming off vacation, coming off of an injury, 2 broken toes. I just think these guys were in 2 different places when they, you know, signed the fight. And when they signed this fight, I think Yuri Prochazka was in a better place. He was, you know, training. He was mentally prepared to, you know, take a short notice fight after his win against Rockets. You know, he just was in a different place. And I think that, you know, they gave Alex Pereira the bag, you know, money that he couldn't decline, probably a couple mil, and he probably said, you know what? I can't decline this money, plus I'm a company guy, I'm going to take this fight. But, you know, he's talking about the trilogy, he's talking about, you know, if you're worried about a trilogy, if you're, you know, kind of giving those pre-built in, you know, I wasn't ready, guys, you know, this is a big risk. Like, these are things that people say when they're not 100% sure that they're about to go in and do what they're supposed to do. But I'm not saying that he's still not going to win. I'm just saying that these are, you know, things that just come up in my head when I'm making this decision. And I think we have to go Yuri round 2 KO. I think the trilogy is going to happen. I think that Yuri's going to come in just ready, poised. I think he's going to do some freaky Yuri Prochazka shit that he always does, and I think he's going to get that knockout in the second round. And I think that they're going to have the trilogy, man. And shit, that's it for the main card predictions. Thank you guys for watching. I'm going to be uploading my best bets tomorrow, and we got some really good bets for this weekend, man. We're going to all win some money. If you bet, please tune in. Please come back and check out the best bets video, because I got some nice parlays cooking up, man. We're going to win some money this weekend. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and thank you.